Hi, guys. Welcome back to Two Generations,
One conversation,
where perspective may differ,
but
but
the
the goal
goal
is
is
always
always
connection. So I know we've been missing for a little bit, but life has been lifing. Ela was finishing up the school term. I had some projects on work, so I was taking some time. And obviously, now that school is out, vacations and things of that nature. So we are back with a super, super great topic today. I think every teen and parent should have conversation. And I think it's really fitting right now that the economy, what's happening in the world, um, that we teach our kids about money management. So that's going to be our topic today: money management, spending, savings, and how do you build a financial future. So, probably open it up first, Dahlia. What do you think financial independence mean to you? And I know you did a financial class where we started having conversations about money based on that. So
Mhm.
so I'll go start with you. What does financial independence mean to you?
Um, from what I've learned, financial independence means having control over your money, which means a lot of things, which can mean paying bills on time, knowing what to spend, knowing what you can spend and what you can't spend. The 30, 30. I think it's 50, 30, 20 saving method. I think it's that.
Okay.
And
Maybe explain
honestly,
that as best as
the
you can.
so I don't know if the numbers are right, but I think it's the 50, 30, 20 method. I don't know if it's those numbers, but it's like that. But the method is 50 being the largest. When you get a paycheck, put half into your savings, 30 into invest, and then the rest is for yourself. So right now I've been trying to do that a little bit. When I get my little paychecks and anything, the investing she handles that, but everything else I've been trying to save more than what I spend because I need financial independence, because if my mom didn't control my money, I would be broke, being honest. So
Yeah, that part, like they say. I think as parents, sometimes we think that kids don't need to learn money. And I'm not saying that's even every household, but as we know, this podcast, we talk about the generations, where I was raised and the way that I'm raising Delia now. And so with that, I don't think my parents talked to me much about financial securement and future. And obviously, as you all know, I grew up in the Caribbean, um, and I do know that I started working at a very early age, just wanting to have my own money. I was always driven by having my own money to buy things and get stuff, right? So I know we started really, really early with Dahlia. We started with I think
yeah, we talked about this
yeah,
before actually.
yeah, we had that chore chart that she would, it started off as like, I think it maybe add up to like $4 or $7 a week, but
Yeah,
it was like
$14
25
a week.
cents a chore and things like that. So that's how we started that. Then we moved into
Actual chores.
yeah, like bigger chores where she got a set. Um, we could say it was allowance, right? But what we felt was we're not just gonna give you an allowance just because you get an allowance, right? The goal of that was to understand how the system works, life works, right? You have to work to get paid, right? You can have a business, but you still got to do something to get paid. So that's where we started with that. Um, and then when she became of eight, I think she's always had an account, whether it was just my account. Um, I mean, sorry, under my account, but always had some form of account that as soon as she was to the age that we can get an account for her where we could put money in there. And I always showed her, okay, well, here you have money. So when you get your birthday money, when you get Christmas money from grandparents and things of that nature. So that's how we started, right? So we started slow. And as you go, we think. I think one of the money lessons, I just want to pivot a little bit. One of the money lessons I wish I had learned earlier, which is what is really truly saving and keeping. When I say saving, saving and not spending it, like really know how to save. I want to say with purpose, right? I think that's the best word, with purpose, because sometimes we only save to achieve something, right? But we should always be thinking about rainy days. We should always be thinking about what if something happened. And that's what I tell her. So then we started with her, like any money she got, she had to put half, and based on the amount, right? She had to put a certain amount into saving. So um what do you think is the hardest thing about saving money, you being a teenager?
Saving it. Like I
Duh.
don't. That's the hardest part. But as I've grown now, like as I've grown now, it's not as hard anymore because I know what the basics are. Like half of it, or maybe a little bit more than half, goes into saving, and then the rest is for me. And since I'm like a little older now, my paychecks are a little higher, so I'm getting more. And as I get more to spend, I let it like kind of rack up a little bit, so I have a lot in my spend for when I need something or want something. But other than that, it's not as bad as it used to be because back then I wanted like everything. So I wanted to just spend my money like that. But as I've gotten older, I've needed less things.
Hmm.
So it's not it's not as bad as it used to be. But
I will say one thing I noticed, that I realized that because we started so early, it has now become second nature to her. So now sometimes, like, I hear her say, "Oh, mom, I got paid from dad for mowing the lawn. Here's the money. Can you put in my account and put this amount in my savings?" Like, I don't have to tell her, okay, or ask, well, how much you put in your savings. She actually gives it to me and tell me. So, and I must say, I'm really proud of you of that. But I think as a teenager now, I think if we didn't start early, let me say that if we didn't start that process early, I think as a teenager, it would be difficult for you because you'd be so used to having money readily and being able to spend all of it. So now it has become a habit. And I think that's what we have to understand as parents and as teenagers, right? I don't know the saying. I'm gonna have to fact check this. I think it says it takes 7 times for you to do something before it becomes, a habit.
mm,
And and as teenagers, we have to understand that your parents is just trying to set you up for the future when they're teaching you these simple little things, and it becomes easier
mm-hmm.
by repetition,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
And one other thing that we did, I guess I'll go back to, like, how did my parents teach me about money? And I kind of alluded to that a little bit. Like, I mean, I saw my mom save here and there and things like that. But I think I personally didn't really get into a deep financial stability way of saving and really being productive was when I came to the US. And even when I first came to the US, I felt like I didn't really have it down pat, because that was the first time I was out of my mother's house. I was 21. I was in the Big Apple. I mean, there's so much to do, right? So I felt at times I was going paycheck to paycheck, paycheck to paycheck. I think it wasn't until, like, I got married, or when I went to the military, probably when I went to the military, that's when it started to click, you know. That probably was a little bit too late, for me, like, and around that time, probably not, because the world was a little bit different and things like that. But I think with this generation, with what we see happening to the economy, with what we see happening to Social Security, what we see happening to all the accessibilities to things and the lack of accessibilities that may be available for this generation, I think it's important that we start our kids early to understand finance, to understand what it does, how it works, how do you hold on to it long term, so that you can be financially stable. So I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I have been trying to teach both of my kids. The other one is a little bit too small, but he's getting there. Um, and then the other thing is we started budgeting. So most of the time when she would have money, it's kind of like a conversation. Okay, you need to do this, you need this. But we actually started budgeting when her account changed to the teen account and she started her jewelry business. Yep. Right? Mm-hmm. So then we started to budget because I'm like, okay, you have to learn how to, one, know what you have to spend, what's in your savings, what is your business money, and how do you take money from your business and pay your bills. So I'm going to go move it over to you. Like, what is your opinion from that experience when we started budgeting? How do you think that teens should have a budget?
Yes, I do think that all teens should have a budget because, like you said, the economy and everything right now is unstable. The word, yeah. For the future, it'd be good to at least take your class, your money management class. Ask your parents or guardians for help. And if those aren't accessible, maybe just like make a routine or have a little bit of discipline when it comes to money, because a bad spending habit follows you a very long way. And I think when you have your money down packed, as I do now, when you start looking at stuff and you look at the price, you're like, I don't think I really need that. Or you could wait for something cheaper, because I like to use my parents' money. I think everybody at my age does. What? But as I've been getting my own money and they've been telling me to use my money, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to use my money. But when you start saving and you have money, then you're like, oh, I could buy this, and it doesn't, but when you pay for it yourself, I get like a little feeling in my stomach that I don't like when I have to pay for something, especially like if it's over like $20. Like, I don't like it, but that's
if I'm paying for it and it's over $20, we have a fuzzy feeling all of a sudden.
But that was sidetracked. But what I was saying was, it's very good to have a hold of your money at a young age, so that, like when Mom said, when bills start to come in, insurance, mortgage, whatever you have to pay when you get older, you know how to manage it and other things like that.
Stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Sort of. Because, so, let me see if you remember this conversation.
We were just talking about credit. I remember that. I remember.
Yeah. So we were talking about that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's the key to understand that if your kids, or I should say teenagers, if you start budgeting at an early age, when you go out there into the real world, you don't have to be married, right? Mm-hmm. Even while in college, or right after college, you get your first job and stuff. You don't have responsibilities, right? And so we were talking about building credit and how easy it is. I think, again, I meant to fact check this, but I feel like the majority of college graduates mess their credit up during that period.
In college?
In college, because it's the first time they are away from home, most of them. Mm-hmm. They have they're free to do anything. They're most of them probably are now getting hold of their social security number on their own, and mm-hmm. and so creditors target them.
They do that
as meaning, sort of, but meaning this is the time during college, you're going to the mall, you're going to these franchise that have what do you call those store credit cards, right? The
Okay.
Victoria's Secrets, the what is that? Aeropostale, all those things that you like to stores that you like to go to, they offer you, hey, you want to sign up for a credit card and get 50% off of this purchase? And your mom is not there to say no, right? And sometimes I think college students, they end up with multiple store cards and then they keep swiping and
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's probably the biggest time I think kids hurt their credit. And then once they get out into the real world, now they're fighting to clean that credit up. And remember, it takes 7 years for something to fall off of your credit,
Oh wow.
right?
Oh yeah, I
So
remember
even
that.
if you happen to pay that card back, it's on your credit for 7 years. So during that 7 years, if you had late payments, if you maxed it out, didn't pay it, whatever, every time you try to get something, so think about it, from you go to college for 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have something in. You have 3 more years before that leaves your credit report if you messed it up,
Right.
right? Right. So after 4 years, you're out in the real world. That's 3 years of you trying to probably buy a house, maybe buy a new car or whatever that you may not get because your credit is messed up by that one mistake you made during college.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it's important, from a parent perspective, that we teach our kids money finance and how to budget. But I think needs and wants, right, is important as well. Um, and I kind of segue already into financial mistakes where we talk about the credit. That's one of the financial mistakes. Um, I think another financial mistakes is trying to live beyond your means, or trying to have, I don't want to say it in a bad way, but
Stay up with the trends.
that's it. Yeah, stay up with the trends.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we had this
Yeah.
conversation
The
where I said,
latest. Yeah.
like, everybody driving Mercedes Benz. You feel like you need a Mercedes Benz. Can you really afford a Mercedes Benz? Like, that's what you have to think about, is, can you really afford a Mercedes Benz? And by budgeting, that's going to tell you, right? Because if if you're making 5,000, I just using raw numbers.
A month or a year?
A month.
Oh, I was gonna say.
If you're making 5,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
your car note is $1,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some maths.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, your favorite subject. So you're making 5,000 a month. Your car note is $1,500, right? How much are you left with? Right?
Mm-hmm.
How much you left with? 3,500. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you rent an apartment, and this is not numbers
No.
no, I'm just using some fake numbers because rent is expensive. So we're gonna say your rent is $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment, right?
Okay.
So now you left with 1,500.
Oh boy.
Well, you gotta have insurance on the car. That same Mercedes Benz that you're driving, you have to have insurance.
Wait,
Right?
this is with the car?
Yeah, 1,500. You bought,
I got the Mercedes.
so you got your job.
Okay.
You're pretty excited. You're like, I need to look good. I need a Mercedes Benz. But your pay is only $5,000 a month, right?
Mm.
Your car note for the Mercedes Benz that you just went and signed for is 1,500 because your credit is messed up and you have a high interest rate, right? So 1,500.
Okay.
You left with 3,500. You have your little one-bedroom apartment that you want to live on the river. It's $2,000.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Right. So now you have $1,500 left. Well, the same Mercedes Benz, if you get in an accident, you better have insurance. So give or take, you're a new driver, you under 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't putting you on my insurance with that high expensive car.
Why?
No, because then my insurance gonna raise. So just say. So now your insurance, let's just say, give or take, is $300.
Mm-hmm.
So you're left with $400, right? Well, you want to eat, right?
No, we don't have to eat.
You're not gonna eat?
We eat the tires off the Mercedes.
Well, apparently that's my point, right? That is my point. You left with $1,200. You still got to eat for the month to buy groceries. You still have to socialize,
What does
right?
that mean? Like,
if you want to go out with your friends, hang out, right? You still have to do that. You still have to put gas in the car to get to and from work or wherever you would want to go, right? We haven't even talked about, you probably need to pay electric.
That's what I think. But we're renting, right? In a hotel, not a hotel, an apartment, right?
Yeah, that don't say the electric is free.
So when you pay the rent, you don't just pay. I thought you pay everything.
No, you have to pay for your own electric. But yeah, yes, ma'am. Reality check.
Oh, no.
Right?
I don't know. I'm gonna stay with y'all. I don't want to go.
Oh no, you ain't. No, you ain't. So that's the point I'm trying. Why it's important to understand finance, to understand what you're getting yourself in. And the main topic we were talking about is to understand you don't have to stay up with the trends and put yourself in a financial burden.
Definitely.
You understand? So let's move into what's the biggest thing that you would save for right now? And you're pretty young, but for conversation's sake, what's the biggest thing you would save for right now?
Well, like for the future, like right now.
Because no, just right now. Like, what's the biggest thing?
If I had a choice, because I'm not really interested in anything anymore besides like buying little fast foods for me or like little clothes or little like accessories for myself. If I were, I would probably start saving for my dream car, which would be a Rubicon.
You just talk about the Mercedes. You're gonna buy
No,
a
I'm
Rubicon.
just saying, like, I would save, so that when I buy it, right, I wouldn't have all them expenses. Expenses.
So you're saying that you would want to save right now, so you have a down payment to put when you go to buy your Rubicon.
Yeah, but even then, when I get to the age where I have my little car ready, I wouldn't buy it right then. I would buy it like a couple more years later, regardless. So
well, that's good. That's good. Do you really want this Rubicon?
Yes, a purple one.
I've been trying to convince her that she doesn't need it, but
and then after that, retirement one is a G-Wagon.
Oh,
just let y'all know.
All right,
it's gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
How much degrees will we have?
We're not there yet. Maybe 2.
So what's gonna pay for these? What's gonna pay for these G-Wagons and stuff?
Preferably the job that I need. I would probably need like 2. So 2 degrees might get me a G-Wagon. And I have my business on the side, so who knows?
All right. Well, I think we head into some good financial decisions with that.
So.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. So I think for me, I don't think that, and please don't come for me. This is me. This is how I parent. I don't think there's like too young of an age to start talking to our kids about money. Obviously, 2 and 3, they don't really understand, but you also can do little things to be like, okay, you don't just throw money away. I think you need to always have them understand that things are valuable and they do cost money, because even at 2 and 3, we give them so much and they don't understand, right? And
2
then
and 3?
Huh?
You sure 2 and 3 is still like...
No. I'm not saying to teach them of money. I'm saying teach them things do cost money and they're valuable, because sometimes we buy toys and things of that nature and then they throw it in a corner.
Okay,
right?
That's what you're saying.
So they need to understand that. So when I say it's not too early to start talking about so that you can get into that transition.
Mhm.
There are ways that you could do it for early, that early age. But definitely 6, 7, you can start implementing chores to gain money and give some little incentives. And hey, you want to save to buy that car that we was crying for? Okay, here's how you do it. And just show them to it, and then gradually um, turn it into bigger things. As they reach teenage age, like Dahlia, start with the budget. We even talk about stocks, right? She doesn't
Oh yeah.
she don't like buy her own stocks, but part of her savings, she have to have money. We always have a goal for the year, how much she saves, and then we either put it in various different things. Either we buy a stock so she has that, or different saving things. So she understands, that these are some of the things that you can do to have financial thing. So I think some key takeaways for this is we need to start teaching them as early as you as a parent feel your child will understand. Also teaching them the difference between needs and wants, right?
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes they have a lot of wants and they're not really needs. So creating a budget,
Mm-hmm.
um, the importance of saving early, um, understanding credit and debt. Um, and when I talk about that, something that I think we might have talked about this on a podcast where I started showing you what the mortgage was, what's the bills. You was doing that class and you had that project,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And showing her how much pay, because I think
That wasn't even money management though.
that was
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think sometimes too, as parents too, we try to keep things away from our kids, certain things, but I think it comes a time, especially with this generation. I call them the why generation. They always want to know why, and and I think what happens is that we have to, sometimes we need to share some information early, and let them know so that they understand. So, understand that this roof over your head is not just here because we are your mom and your dad. Like we pay for that, so that they get that. Setting financial goals. That's one we although we were saving, like we had Dahlia save and stuff, we started doing financial goals probably 2 or 3 years ago, where we would say, I would tell, okay, how much you think you want to save for this year. So when January comes, she start working to that goal, which last year when we set a goal, we won't say, and the end of the year, I'm like, damn, you met your goal. Like, she's like, I really did.
I
Like,
was so excited.
and I
Oh my
think that was
gosh.
her biggest goal ever. And she was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize, because I have taught her to put the money in the savings and not think about it. Like, don't pay attention. Like, you know, um, so it was there, and she kept putting and putting, and eventually she did hit her goal. So that was an exciting thing. So we'll see what happens this year. And then building wealth versus just making money. Um, when I say building wealth, this generation, I know they have instant gratification. They want to be superstars fast. They want to do social media and get all these money fast. They want to be celebrities and stuff. And Daly used to say that at one point in time. She used to be like, I want to be rich. I want to. I don't know what you wanted to do.
I wanted to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're doing a podcast, but we're doing it for a different reason, right? Um, so and I used to tell her, I said, listen, you have to understand that these people don't show you everything that they have to do to make this happen. it's not easy. It's not, we'll just say the YouTube, it's not just putting on a camera and talking and doing this repeat. You have to be consistent. You have to, this becomes your life because you have to make money. In addition to, yes, everybody, you want to have a job, whether it's a business or a job or whatever, and that's how you make money. But how you make wealth, or I should say build wealth, is doing other things, right? I'm not a financial advisor. Please, I want to make this disclaimer. We just do our best. But there are so many things out there that you can learn on how you can build wealth. We talked about stock, we talked about savings, there's saving bonds, there's IRAs, and those kind of things. We sometimes don't talk to our kids early enough. I didn't learn about all these things early. I learned about all these things as I got older, And so I think it's important that we talk to our kids about all these things that are out there, and tell them and let them learn how it works so they can understand, so that they can jump into it early, right? Don't wait till you're 30, 35, 40 and, trying to do some of these things. I think that's how you build financial wealth, starting early and understanding the worth of money and how you can do it. Like so many little businesses you can do to bring in a flow. What you want that business to do. Of course, you want it to be a passion. She always liked making jewelry, so she's been doing that. So what does your jewelry money help you do besides putting back to the business? What does it help you do?
It helps me buy stuff that I want on the side from making my little allowance money. I mean, for right now, that's all it really does.
But right, that's what I'm saying. But
put a little extra boost.
It's right. It becomes a source of income for you, right? You always put back into your business, and then you have money that you pay yourself or whatever.
Yep.
So, I think it's good as teenagers that we tell them how to build wealth. So we'll have a little fun segment. So we'll go each other. So
okay.
So we're gonna. So the 3 words, it's either spend, save, or invest.
Oh boy.
Right? So when I say the phrase, you have to say what you're gonna do with it. Either spend, save, or invest.
Okay, all right. I'm ready.
All right. Birthday money.
Save that.
All right. I'm gonna spend.
I wouldn't say that too, but just I think I got my reasons.
Be true. Okay. First paycheck.
Oh boy. You gotta go first.
No, you go first paycheck.
I gotta save that. I have to save.
You have to save. Yeah. Right? Save. I have spend.
Spend?
No. I have spent for birthday money. Oh. Right? So first paycheck, I'm gonna say save as well.
Okay.
All right. Tax refund.
I don't know what that is, so I'm gonna just say spend.
Like if you do your taxes.
Oh, you get money back?
And you get money back.
Oh, spend.
Okay. All right. I am going to invest. Okay. An extra $100.
Yeah, I'd invest that if I got a little extra. I'd invest.
Okay.
You're supposed to be going first. What is your?
You're cheating. Extra $100. I'll save. Graduation gift.
Of like just money?
Like yeah, it'll be cash.
You know what? Save, because it is like from high school or college.
It don't matter.
No, I need to know which one it
no,
is.
It don't matter.
But save that.
Yeah. I think graduation gift. I'm like spend and save. Definitely, I'm gonna say spend and save. Depending.
That's not fair. You're cheating. You're supposed to pick one. Only one option.
Yeah, but again, that just goes to show how you're supposed to know that. You're supposed to know how kind of like figure out like when you have things what you want to do with it ahead of
True.
time. Not don't impulse buy. Don't you know, when you get the money, just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, you know. So we all know it's important. I'm gonna ask this and leave this for our listeners. Please share it in the chat comments. If someone gave you $1,000 today, would you spend it, save it, or invest it? And why? And that means today. So
Can I answer?
go ahead.
I would do, so I know that's not really an answer, but when I said before, I would do the 50-30 method because when we learned about that, 50 save, 30 invest, or invest, and then the 20 for myself. I think that's like the most responsible thing to do with that money, if I'm being honest.
That's a good one. It's a really good
Because
one.
$1,000 is a lot.
Yeah.
So
let's hear what you say in the chat.
they just go take my answer.
Don't forget to comment on that. If someone gave you $1,000 today, would you spend it, save it, or invest it, and why? I think this was another good one. We promise that we will not be this long again with a new episode. Yes, we do. Look forward to our Las Vegas vlog. We will be sharing some of that next week with y'all. Just a little, not a lot, some shorts out. So look forward to that. Remember that good money habits aren't how much money you have. It's more about how you manage what you have. The earlier we learn and we teach our teenagers to save, budget, and plan, the more opportunities we can create for them in the future. Thank you again. Don't forget to like, share,
and subscribe to our channel. Bye, guys.
Bye.